Hi, Abraham and Esther. Thank you for everything. My question today is that my partner recently received a less than desirable medical diagnosis, and we're both feeling scared. My question is, how can I best stay connected to Source and be of value to him without trying to control the outcome? I want to help him, and I'll make suggestions on some lifestyle changes that he could make to improve his health, but I can sense that he's resistant to my involvement in that way. And so really my question is, how can I be of value to him, still stay connected to myself, and also be able to still be creating what I want for my life, which is to have him in it and to be healthy and happy, so we can continue our life together. So thank you. Bye.
Well, everything that we've talked about in the segments before yours is helpful to you and was a laying of the basis or the platform for you to understand this. And we know you got it even before your question was displayed on the screen. The operative word came right out of your mouth as you were asking how to stay connected, how to stay in alignment, because that's the work, isn't it? You're just going to have to mess around with it, as Esther says, toy around with it, play with it, until you show yourself that you can settle down. This is a self-soothing exercise, because sometimes when something like this happens, the other can't really be soothed. Sometimes you can't be soothed either. It depends upon what train of thought you've decided to ride the train. But as you discover that there are subjects in your life that give you relief, stay on those subjects. And subjects in your life that stir you up, stay off those subjects. And most important, don't let this be a game of teaching someone else what they need to do in order to improve their reality that they are creating. Because if they're reeling from negative news and on the lower half of the emotional scale, they're not going to hear you or receive you in the way that you mean. You said something really wonderful as you made it clear to all of us how important this person is to you. And if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not say things like, I can't live without you, or we need to get this because I can't live without you. But we would say things like, I love being with you. We would watch for those still wonderful moments in time that will come where you are really enjoying something in the moment together. In other words, amplify that part, how much you love being together, and don't amplify the part that you're worried that you might not always be together. Because the fact is, you're not always going to be together with anybody in your physical form. The physical is something that is coming and going. It's active and then it's not active. But the whole of who you are is always active. And so, Esther remembers years ago, neighbor's dog got in their chicken yard and hurt and killed some chickens. Now, these were chickens that Jerry and Esther had selected from an incubator in the feed store that named each one. Esther knew, so did Jerry, which hen laid which egg because they were different colors. Some were pinkish brown and some were greenish blue and some were white. Esther knew which girl laid which egg. There was Chicken Little and Henny Penny and Big Bird. These birds, these chickens, had names that were terms of endearment because they were beloved by Jerry and Esther. And now the neighbor's dog, inappropriately named Snuggles, had come into the yard and had caused mayhem. And so Esther was devastated. And Jerry said, once Esther settled down, let's talk to Abraham about it. And we said, brace yourselves, because it's funny, but many of you are not going to like it. We said to Esther, focus upon the chickens that are still alive. And because of her desire for connection and her ability to connect with us, that statement gave her relief. Gave her relief. Some years later, thinking back on it, Esther cannot imagine why she thought it was a good idea at the time. Someone really important to her had lost her husband to an illness that he had had for a while. And Esther said, focus on the chickens who are still alive. It did not go over very well at all with her friend. And those of you who are listening in can certainly understand why. What we're saying to you is, everyone has to find their own way to alignment. And the best of your intentions, Esther just remembered that giving her relief. And of course she understands the difference between your chicken making its transition into non-physical and your husband making his transition into the non-physical. They are quite different in the hierarchy of importance to you. But the process for alignment is the same. You're not all at the same point of readiness to hear something. And so you just have to decide as an individual that you want to feel good, that there are laws of the universe, that there are processes that you can apply, and that some thoughts feel better than others, and that as circumstances change, some thoughts don't feel good no matter how hard you try, so the best bet is to just stay off that thought altogether. In other words, we're not saying to you that in every moment of every day you can turn every subject into something that will make your heart sing. That's just not the case. But we are saying to you that you can primarily be in a place of a heart singing. You have the capacity, the capability, and we think for most of you now the understanding to hold yourself in a pretty steady place. And so that's the best that you can do for anyone. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not worry about your dear heart. Instead, we'd expect good things. And if we couldn't bring ourselves to expecting good things, then we would focus on other things. Let's see another.